all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro. The right choice, and that they are. Winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State. I was lucky enough to hang out with Nick this morning.
Yeah.
He is such a wonderful, wonderful person. I love that business. They are just fair, honest, reliable, really, really good company. So Nick came out with me. I'm looking into buying a home. I put an offer in, and we're under contract at the moment, but it is an older home that needs quite a bit of work. I'll find out the rest of it shortly. But I had noticed that the windows are in pretty rough shape. So I had asked him to just come and take a look at it and just, how much is it going to cost if I need to replace them? How many of them do I need to be replaced? And that's, I don't know.
So it's no longer a matter of if you need to replace them. You do.
I do, yes. And so got some big decisions to make.
Nick's going to be the guy.
Yeah, so he is. And I told him, I said, there's no one else I would call or even consider.
Same.
He's just the best. Yep. He's such a great guy. Really love that company. Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro. A little extra love for you guys. Thank you, Nick, for coming with me this morning. Today, the showers continue.
Nick's the pick.
He is. Picnic at Home Right Windows and Doors.
Picnic. Oh, and then have a picnic.
You could.
Sure.
I mean, I see where you're going there. It fell short.
It's all right.
Okay. Trying to rhyme door. Picnic for your... Anyway, today we're looking at some showers and a high of 56. The showers will continue. It was really fun standing out in that this morning, especially since I don't own an umbrella.
Yeah, mine fell apart yesterday morning when I got out of the van.
I heard you scared Reagan half to death with your exploding.
Scare her. Made her laugh.
Well, okay.
Pushed the buttons for the thing to open up automatically, and it just, the best way I can describe it is it disintegrated in my hands. These little wire pins that I never even knew existed on the umbrella. Where they came from, because I've repaired this thing 10 different times.
Is it a kid's umbrella?
No, it's a regular.
Are we that frugal that we just won't buy a new one?
Not frugal, but it's just I just never think about getting an umbrella, and it's not something that I don't care about an umbrella for me. Really, I had it, I should say, but it was more for if we're somewhere Mary needs it. Now Reagan, obviously, or if I'm hauling Grams around or Mom, somebody. I don't care about
for other people's comfort.
Yeah. So, to answer your question, it's not being frugal. It's just not something I really think about doing.
Well, let me add it to my Christmas list for you.
Right?
You know what I do have in my purse? I have a poncho that I had when I went to an amusement park that I never used. And I always carry it around in my purse because one day, I'm going to be with somebody and we're going to be outside. It's going to be raining. I'm going to forget I had it. They're going to say, oh my gosh, if only somebody had a poncho. And boom, I'm going to be the hero of the day, bust out this poncho and say, well, as a matter of fact.
You're probably more likely to hear, and you would be more excited if they would say, oh, I'd give $1,000 if I had a poncho right now. Well, cash or check. Here you go.
Or maybe I can amend it to, oh gosh, I'd give anything for a poncho right now. How much would you give for that poncho right now?
And if it's a guy, it's like, well, I am single.
Does a phone number, will that suffice? Tomorrow, the rain will continue, so definitely get that umbrella ready to roll and a high of 55. We have 15 shopping days left until the big day, 21 days until we are ringing in 2025. It is International Animal Rights Day and also National Lager Day. I know you're not a big beer drinker, but one of my favorites is Yingling Lager, partly because I'm from the area, but also I really like it because I feel like I can drink lager and it doesn't fill me up as much as other beers do.
Got to be honest with you, when you first said it, or National Lager Day.
You thought somebody that...
Yeah,
no,
I would have.
Lager beer.
Yeah, I got you.
But a few FAQs, if you will, about lager, or some facts about them. It's light and you won't bloat. So beer is very hoppy and also can make you very happy. And heavy alcoholic beverage.
That was barley funny.
Many people consume a limited amount due to the fact that it makes them bloat. However, many people prefer lager to prevent that bloated feeling because it is a lighter beer. It's very refreshing. The light, crisp taste of a lager pairs well with many foods, and it is a refreshing choice after a run on the slopes or on the field.
I know. I'm trying to think. Yingling was always my go-to for the longest time, and I never felt, unless I didn't realize this is what it was, never felt bloated.
I never did either, but this one I thought, and I love Yingling. I thought this was really interesting. People are more likely to approach you at a bar if you're drinking a lager. According to a recent study, people believe a woman drinking a lager makes them seem friendly and low maintenance, and a man with a cold brew in one hand comes off as authentic and genuine. There is something from a woman's perspective that is very attractive about a man ordering a Yingling at the bar and sitting back and just drinking when watching a football game. There is something that is very attractive about it.
And you can't put your finger on it, though.
I cannot. Maybe it's just because they just seem like your all-American man.
It seems a bit more masculine,
Yes,
perhaps.
yes.
Yeah.
Instead of, and the fruity drinks are great, but there is something about, I'm just going to have a lager after a really hard day and I need to cool off.
Well, I said Yingling was always, my brand, but there were many times that I'd belly up to the bar and be like,
Belly up.
I'm going to have a Malibu Bay Breeze.
I know you did. That was your jam.
That's what.
You loved Malibu Bay Breeze. And you know who always made fun of you for it?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, look, if you didn't mind it when I was paying the tab.
I did not.
So you order what you want,
And
Tiny.
Tiny used to always say, well, you like what you like. But a Malibu Bay Breeze, to me, I think of
sorority girls.
A freshly 21 sorority girl in college. I'll have a Malibu Bay Breeze on their 21st birthday.
To be fair, I never understood why I never cared for the taste of beer. Beer was always, to me, function. Mm-hmm. So it was to loosen up, and then when you continually drink it, then obviously you're just, drinking to excess, sad to say. I, did that several times and not proud of it, but it happens. But I never once tasted a beer and was like, that's good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's quite a few I've really enjoyed. Yeah. I really love a wheat beer.
Now, we've been going to the Michel Brewing Company for trivia, and the one that you got was the pumpkin recently?
It was a pumpkin wheat beer.
I thought that may have been, like, if you lined up every, and probably maybe 10 of them, brands of beer that I've tried in my life, that was the best one, taste-wise. Mm-hmm. No doubt about that.
I went to Belgium a year and a half ago, not quite 2 years ago, and I was in Brussels. Yes, I was in Brussels. It was our first stop on the trip. And we found this bar called Delirium.
I thought you were going to say Sprouts.
What?
Brussels Sprouts.
No, it's called Delirium. And I think there are multiple, I think it's a franchise, and they have different locations here in the U.S. I know I've been to Delirium in Leesburg, Virginia, because their logo is a pink elephant. And I remember we were in Belgium walking around, and I saw Delirium with the pink elephant.
Oh,
and I thought, that's what I thought. I was like, oh my gosh, it has to be the same place that I've been to in Leesburg, Virginia. So we go in there, and they're very well known for their massive flight of beer. All I see is the price of it, because everything's written in another language, and I'm not quite sure, but I just see that it was either 10 or 14 beers in this flight. And I said, I'll just have that. It was 20 euros, something like that. Out comes this massive paddle it was either 10 or 14 different beers on it. You should have seen my face when I saw it coming at me. I thought, there's no way that's mine. I mean, it was probably...
Like something out of a cartoon. They start to slide it in front of you and it just keeps on going.
It was unbelievable. But I would say all but 2 of those beers were fantastic. Absolutely loved it. But that was one of my best beer experiences. And it was so funny because there was a really nice couple next to us who I asked for them to get a picture of me and Chris, who was with me at the time. And as they were taking the picture of me and Chris, the paddle comes out with all the beer on it, and they start snapping photos of our faces. And you can really see shock of, there's no way all of these beers are for us.
Were you sharing this?
We shared it. Okay. I don't know if I could have completed that's a lot of beer.
I didn't know if it just caught you by surprise, like, I ordered this for myself. Holy cow.
No, we decided to split it, but even still, when you see that many, because flights are like 4 or 5. I mean, I think there was 14 on this thing.
Was it 4-ounce pours, or what was it?
It was, but they were a little bit, I think it was probably supposed to be 4 ounces, but they're not counting. They're not counting the ounces at all. But anyway, so if you're ever in Brussels, Delirium Bar, find the pink elephant, and get the flight, because it was really... It was an experience. Even if you don't like beer, it was just a really cool experience.
Speaking of a cool experience.
Good word of the day.
There we go.
Hey everyone, I'm Laura Kincaid, pastor of Messiah United Methodist Church in Shippensburg, Pennsylvania. Well, this is the second week of Advent, and this week is the week of peace. Wow, we could sure use some of that, couldn't we? Right? Peace in our hearts, peace in our homes, peace in our world. Because we do live in a very anxious and stressed out society. And a lot of the advice that we are given on how to deal with our stress, it kind of amounts to just don't think about it. It was Pastor Tim Keller who said, you can have smart peace or you can have stupid peace. Stupid peace is just not thinking about what's bothering you, right? Try to escape it. Focus on your breathing, or go do something fun. Have some cocoa or something stronger. Yeah, but these are just temporary escapes. They don't really help us in the long run. On the other hand, Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 9 says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ." In other words, the Apostle Paul says we should think about our problems and our troubles, but put them into prayers. Ask God for help, and do this with thanksgiving. Wait a minute, why am I thanking God before he's done anything? Well, peace comes from knowing that whether God gives you what you want or not, you can trust that he is working in your life, in the life of the people that you love, and in the events of the world to bring about the best good possible. Now, sometimes we can't see it because, let's face it, we only have a limited view, but God sees everything. He knows what's truly best. I mean, think of the cross. When the disciples saw Jesus hanging on the cross, they thought that was the worst possible thing that could happen. And yet, even though it looked like the worst, it was actually the best, most wonderful, glorious gift of love that God could ever give us. To take the penalty for our sins on the cross, to conquer sin and death for us. Statistics tell us that 80% of the things that people worry about never happen. And of the bad things that they worried about that then do happen, most of them end up not being as bad as they thought they'd be, or they learn something valuable through those experiences. So have some peace this week. Come find it in Jesus, the Prince of Peace. Come join us for church. Services at Messiah United Methodist Church are on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. We're at 30 South Penn Street in Shippensburg. You can also find us on YouTube and on Facebook. Wherever you are, whatever you're going through, know that you are precious to God and you are precious to us here at Messiah United Methodist Church.
News is all powered by Legends Bar in Chambersburg. You can satisfy your sports fix at Legends Bar with game day specials and cold brews. You can find them on Hollywell Avenue in Chambersburg.
I notice when we start out these things, you're always looking over in this general vicinity. What's over there?
Sometimes I just find my confidence when I look over to the left. Yes. Yeah. You may notice that a lot in just my daily, everyday. I'm always looking to the left to build up my confidence.
So far left, there's nothing right.
And then I circle back around, and then I make it. Or also, some of the things I need to read are over to the left as well. And thank you for pointing that out.
Sounds great, Katie. Why don't you give us some news?
You need a little confidence build there, buddy?
I feel great. I'm ready to tear into some news. How about you, Katie? And what about you watching? You enjoying yourself too? Great. Glad to have you.
The third annual Artists Studio Tour is set to take place in Fayetteville on Friday, December 6th and Saturday, December 7th. Those dates have actually already passed. So let me move on to the next news story that I have here.
Yes, please.
The Franklin County Career and
Apparently you need to look to the left a little more, Katie.
Let me
That's
try
where
this
your story
again.
will be. Your story's over there.
The Franklin County Career and Technology Center's retail greenhouse, Teens and Greens, is now open for holiday flower and greenery needs. They are on Molly Pitcher Highway in Chambersburg, 3015 Molly Pitcher Highway to be exact. The greenhouse features poinsettias, wreaths, and greens. It's open Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 3, and Thursdays and Fridays, 9 to 5.
Time now to check in with sports with Andy.
In Washington County girls basketball last night, Smithsburg beat North Hagerstown 51-28. Mountain Ridge beat Clear Spring 55-50. Northern Garrett beat Hancock 56-14. and Williamsport beat Hedgesville 43-30. Tonight, St. James takes on Chapelgate, tip-off at 4 p.m. Grace Academy travels to Berkeley Springs. That tip-off is at 5 p.m. Tip-off at 6 p.m. for Broad Fording going up against Martinsburg. And tip-off at 6:30 p.m. for Boonesboro at South Carroll and Williamsport at Francis Scott Key. And tip-off at 7 p.m. for South Hagerstown going to Middletown. Wrestling action coming up tonight. Boonesboro goes to St. James, and that match starts at 5 p.m. Also coming up tonight, boys basketball. Grace Academy goes to Berkeley Springs. That tip-off is at 6:30 p.m. Smithsburg travels to North Hagerstown. Tip-off at 7. Also tipping off at 7 is South Carroll at Boonesboro and Middletown at South Hagerstown. A tip-off at 7:15 for Frederick Warriors at Heritage and Francis Scott Key at Williamsport. Tip-off at 7:30 p.m. The Greencastle Antrim Blue Devils picked up a pair of wins versus James Buchanan last night. In girls basketball, Greencastle Antrim beat James Buchanan 59-38. And in boys basketball, Greencastle beat James Buchanan as well, 59-. And in boys basketball, Greencastle Antrim beat James Buchanan as well, 76-67. Coming up tonight, you can check out Harrisburg taking on Chambersburg for high school basketball. Tip-off is at 7:15 p.m.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
I feel the same way that I felt yesterday. I feel like this was a game that the Cowboys should have won.
They did.
They did. I didn't think they were spectacular, but that's okay. You don't have to do style points. This isn't college. We're not trying to impress the BCS. This was good for them to get away with a win. And I still have them not making the playoffs this year. Hey, this is Maggie Gray on 92.1 The GOAT, the Tri-State home for local sports and news.
Every family deserves the warmth and comfort of a beautiful Napoleon fireplace. Imagine flickering flames casting a soft glow as you curl up with a book, settle down with that someone special, or sip hot cocoa. Cozy up your home without burning through your savings. LT Rush Stone and Fireplace offers a selection of energy-efficient fireplaces that can help reduce your energy consumption, keeping money in your wallet, not spiraling up the chimney. Whether you prefer the traditional Napoleon wood burning, the clean convenience of a Napoleon pellet-fueled, or slick Napoleon gas options, you'll find the perfect fit for your home and family at LT Rush Stone and Fireplace. Visit the showroom on Buchanan Trail between Waynesboro and Greencastle to view more possibilities. Receive a free ton of pellets with any pellet stove purchase. Enjoy the perfect ambiance without breaking the bank. Cozy up your home with help from LT Rush Stone and Fireplace.
LT Rush Stone and Fireplace, making dreams come true.
Making your home more comfortable, secure, and efficient. That's the goal of CV Winger, from upgrading your heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems to installing new faucets or security lights. CV Winger is your solution, a certified York dealer offering products backed by decades of experience. Founded over 140 years ago, York has been an industry leader from the start. Talk to CV Winger today about the upgrades you want in your home and receive a free estimate on your projects. From installing new Comfort Height toilets to a whole house generator or a heat pump water heater. See how properly installed quality York products can make your home smarter, more efficient, and more reliable. You can save money on your energy costs too. Call CV Winger today at 717-263-1469 or find them online at cvwinger.com. CV Winger in Chambersburg, your certified York dealer.
Antrim Way Honda will buy your car. Its value is at an all-time high, so if you're considering selling it, talk to Antrim Way Honda. You can try selling it online, listing it in the newspaper, or trading it at another dealer, or you can stop by Antrim Way Honda. They'll make you an offer on the spot. No waiting, no negotiating over the phone. Just drive into the dealership and leave with a check in your hands. Even if you're not interested in purchasing another vehicle, it's that easy. Happy holidays from Antrim Way Honda, 200 South Antrim Way, Greencastle.
Sunday, January 26th, it's the Tri-State Bridal Show at Valley Mall, Hagerstown. This is the ultimate showcase for area bridal professionals, local bakers, photographers, caterers, DJs, travel planners, bands, venues. You'll want to meet the brides-to-be. Make sure you're at the top of their list by being a vendor in the 2025 Tri-State Bridal Show at Valley Mall, Hagerstown. Sunday, January 26th. Visit bestofthetristate.com for vendor information today. Make sure you get your tickets for the Nutcracker, a traditional holiday classic performed by the Chambersburg Ballet. This live performance features a cast of over 40 local dancers and 2 professional guest artists, as the Sugar Plum Fairy and her Cavalier performances will take place on Saturday, December 14th at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m., and Sunday, December 15th at 3 p.m. at the historic Capitol Theater in downtown Chambersburg. Purchase your tickets at chambersburgballet.org or call the box office at 717-263-0202.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Joining us now on Let's Talk Tri-State, we have D.H. Spencer. He's the author of A Man's Guide to Better Relationships. Mr. Spencer, how are you today?
Good morning. Feeling great. Thank you.
It's great to have you today. I believe from now on we can, you prefer to be called Hody, is that correct?
Hody works fantastic, you bet.
All right, so the book, take us through this, A Man's Guide to Better Relationships. We're going to go through that here as the interview unfolds. But take us through your history, Hody, and how did you wind up where you are and your effort to cut the divorce rate?
Well, I was married for 20 years. Thought it would be forever. I thought I was being a great husband. And along the lines, I would occasionally hear the words, "You never listen to me." Didn't mean anything. And I thought, you know what? I'm present. I hear everything you're saying. My wife was unhappy, didn't realize she was unhappy, and said, "Hey, I don't want to be married anymore." I kind of have a history of learning things after the fact. And so I dove in, want to know, what did I do wrong? Where did this marriage fail? What was my role in it? And of course I had all the friends and support systems to say, no, she was being no, it takes two to tango, if you will, or to untango. So, I set out to see where I went wrong, and I talked to several marriage counselors, talked to some therapists, actually went to see some therapists. I then took some classes on how to save your marriage, if you will, during the process while it was blowing up. Read just about every book I could get my hands on, and really got to the bottom of, hey, this is my part. It wasn't just her. And when she said, "You never listened to me," that was her saying that I'm not providing any emotional security. I didn't even know what emotional security was, but I'm going to argue that emotional security is just as important as financial security, physical security, spiritual security, all of that. So that was my wake up call. I spent 2 years learning everything I could and condensed it down into a little book.
Well, I didn't have a chance to look this up on the nationwide levels, but what do you happen to know what the current divorce rate is?
I think it's about 46-47%. It's people always say it's 50 and growing, 55%. It's a little under 50.
So let's go through we're talking with Hody Spencer, author of The Man's Guide to Better Relationships. And I think the overarching topic is going to simply be communication. I think it all boils down to that and being heard, hearing. And how do you plan, though, Hody, to lower – I know that this is you can drill down on several different things here, but how do you plan to lower divorce rates? What's your advice? What is your goal here?
Well, I'm targeting the men. And I find that there's a little challenge in, if I tell you, hey, when the idiot light comes on in your car, you take it to the shop, and it needs to have the oil changed a couple times a year, synthetic oil, 10,000 miles maybe, they say 3,000. But when the warning light comes on, guys need to pay attention. And so, my book is written for men, teaching them how to be a better husband, how to pay attention. And it's something that I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. And I'm going to say roughly 50% of men don't know this. Mm-hmm. As men, if you were to tell me, hey, my steering wheel is shaking and the car's pulling to the right and it's kind of dipped down to the right, I'm going to tell you, hey, you got a flat right front tire, right?
Right.
And women don't necessarily want to hear that. They just want to, oh my goodness, was it scary? Was it shaking really hard? And we just communicate very, very differently. So I guess the bottom line is, woman needs to feel heard and understood in order to feel safe.
Yeah, because I think guys are more, and I'm guilty of this too, as I think most men are, and I'm sure you were, and you obviously still have to work on it, as we all would and should. But men are fixers. If you tell us, like you just said, if there's a problem, then how do I fix it? It's you hate to say this, but you are in your own primal way saying, well, we could either complain about it or we could change it.
Right.
And that's where we find ourselves.
Well, and women tend to be emotional, men tend to be logical. Mm-hmm. In that fixing, the intentions are good. As I said, I thought I was being a great husband.
Right.
But if you go back to the caveman days, the guys we're the hunters, the protectors, and women are more social, and they talk about their feelings, and they want to be able to convey their feelings to you in a safe environment. Mm-hmm. And what I found I was doing when I fix things, as men do, we tend to invalidate their feelings, and we say, "Oh, well, you shouldn't feel that way," but they do, right? And you shouldn't let that bother you, but it does. And
that doesn't just go for, and I'm sure you know this, but in my experience, not just with my wife, my wife, as I'm sure most wives are, as you said, she is very emotional, not very emotional, but she's emotional, easily led to emotion, I would say. But that does not just go for at home. That goes for when I see it at work. There, one of my dearest friends I've known for almost 20 years. She's my co-host, Katie, and she is one of the most emotionally driven, emotionally charged people that I've ever met. And she does not have a delineation between wanting to get that recognition, that safe place, as you said, from her current partner or from me. She seeks it out. She wants it. I've talked to my supervisor as well. And when different, he's our general manager here at the radio station. And when different female employees will come in and talk to him, it is a bit of a longer conversation because there are obviously it's emotionally charged. Whereas the guys are just like, hey, X, Y, and Z, I'm going to do A, B, and C. We're good. Have a great day. Talk to you Monday.
Exactly. Well, and as you mentioned, women need to vent. They need to get this off their chest, whatever it is, whether it's a problem with their kid at school, whether their neighbor was mean to them. They need to vent.
Right.
And if you, the husband, are not willing to listen, unfortunately, another guy is. And this is where the emotional affairs start, if you will. Someone else is providing a safe place for her to feel heard and understood. And now the attraction starts. So it's hopefully the book's going to help guys realize this and nip it in the bud, so that they don't have a need to go anywhere else. That they know they can come home. You're going to be their rock. You're going to be their lighthouse, if you will. There's kind of a fun thing I like to say. It's a woman will bring home a bag full of crap. Okay, and you need to get your bag. Just imagine a little grocery bag, if you will. Hey, hi, honey, how are you? Boom, and get your bag ready. And one by one, she's going to reach in the bag, pull out a load of crap, and hand it to you. You don't have to take. You have to take it, or make her feel like she can offload it. You don't have to keep it, right? And one by one, okay. And Jimmy did this, and Jackie did this, and so did that, and I had a problem. And when everything's off her chest, she's going, thank you for listening. I feel so much better. You can take that bag and throw it away. Right? You don't have to keep it. If I can go off on a little tangent, if you will.
Please.
Sometimes men tend to get butthurt. Her ire, her anger might be at you. And rather than getting butthurt about things, it's super important to make a note of what bothered you. Okay? And then when she's not there, dive in and say, why did that bother me? This is ridiculous. And it's an insecurity. We all have them. And then you've got something to work on.
You brought up a good point earlier and I think this is something that a lot of men hear, but one thing I've always said about the tough advice is a lot of advice is easier given than put into practice. And it's going to take work. There is not a quick fix to this other than just fake it till you make it. But it is nice to emotionally be there for to genuinely want to comfort your wife and have those feelings and experience these things with her, be in the trenches, so to speak. But you mentioned how if you don't, another guy will, because obviously we're talking to the guys here. But Hody, do you find that this is something where you, how do I want to say, that what we wind up doing is unintentionally, we do this at the beginning of our relationships, but then what winds up happening is it fades off. Why is it that is it a comfort factor? We become very comfortable in the relationship. We don't feel a need to continue because we do that at the beginning.
Right. And we're raised to kind of feel like getting married is the destination, right?
Right.
You date, you do this courtship, you do the dance, you plan the wedding, everyone comes in, you have a celebration. I got married. That part's done. I can now go conquer the world. I have my wife right here. And unfortunately, what you do to get her is what you need to do to keep her. Mm-hmm. Okay. So the courtship process, people say date night. Yeah, it's super important. And another thing I'll say is 15 minutes a day. Jordan Peterson, I know, talks quite a bit about that. Just 15 minutes a day. Hey, how are you? How's your day? But be present. Okay. And for the ladies listening, there's times to talk. Fourth quarter tie ball game is not the time to talk. Okay. There's something I think super important to just be able to turn to your partner, wife, girlfriend, what have you, and say, hey, look, I know this is really, really important to you. I'm in the middle of this, but I know it's important enough that I want to be able to give you my undivided attention. So can we do this in a half hour, an hour? Does it really have to be right now? Right. Mm-hmm. So just little tips, little things that I learned. And the biggest one is part of that emotional security is not invalidating what they're saying. What they're saying is real to them. Okay. Just like my Huskies getting smoked by Penn State on Saturday night. That was very real, very painful, very emotional for me. But when they have something going on, to them it's real and it counts.
And I think it also would benefit the ladies who are listening to know that you're going to the guy that you are getting this from. I know that you want it. I know you seek it out. But the guy that you're getting this from because your husband, your boyfriend, whatever, is not providing it for you. There is a good chance that is going to wear off, as we just said. Now, absolutely, I'm not suggesting that you would just settle for being unhappy the rest of your life. What would you say, Hody, to the ladies who are listening who say, I'm not getting that from my husband. There's a gentleman at work who's providing me some of that attention. I don't necessarily mean for this to happen, but here we go. What would you say to them?
I'd say you need to kind of go back to when he was doing it, when he was providing it, because we all do it at some point. My wife told me, it is really hard. In going back in hindsight, she said, you never listen to me. But she couldn't explain what it was that she needed. And looking at relationships with my friends' wives and girlfriends, they would come, they'd complain to me about something. And I say, you know what? I'm not the one that needs to hear this, nor is anyone else you're talking to. Your boyfriend is the one that you need to be telling this to. Okay?
Right.
I would hope before it gets to the point that they'd be able to talk to a counselor or someone. But a woman, it has to come out. They need to vent. Hopefully they can do that to their girlfriends. Hopefully it's not another man that they turn to do this. But try not to, go to your girlfriends, go to your mom, go to your sister, and start there. And then again, there it is.
There it is. Yep.
So here's another quick point I want to add. Another tangent. I apologize, but I could I thousands of hours, tens of thousands of dollars, thousands of pages. I could have written 300 pages. I've got ADD, and I'm not going to read a 300-page book. So I dumbed it down as best I could into actionable things that someone can do tonight. That 5 pages into the book, here's a little something you can practice tonight, and realize that there's a lot to learn.
Now, you mentioned the statistic. We're talking with D.H. Spencer, Hody Spencer, author of A Man's Guide to Better Relationships, online at thecommunicator.net. And we're going to get to the
It's actually,
here.
I shifted that. I apologize. It's listenbaby.net. I tried to make it easy enough so everyone will remember, but listenbaby.net.
Okay, very good.
And so my apologies. So.
No worries. Listenbaby.net. You heard that, A Man's Guide to Better Relationships. So, Hody, with the last few minutes that we have here, you mentioned on your website and through your literature about 70% of divorces are initiated by women. Is that simply because men are oblivious that there's an issue?
Absolutely. They don't know what's going on. A woman will say, I tried to tell you, but it takes a long time for them to pull the trigger. This doesn't just happen overnight. Usually they've been thinking about it for a couple of years, and they're hoping, again, when we talk about when you're dating, when you're courting, when you just get married, you do it all. And I'm sure you've heard of the 5 love languages. We're really good at covering all of those. Okay. Yeah. And same thing. I'm going to pose that there are 3 different, you've got visual, you've got auditory, you've got kinesthetic. Okay. So when you start dating somebody, you're really good about holding hands, telling them you love them, writing them love notes, gestures. Okay. At some point, you're going to go back to what works best for you. And if it's an auditory, if you need to hear someone say, I love you, you're not going to see it. You're not going to feel it. On a walk holding hands, you're not going to feel it. Right. They need to say it. And so when we start out, we're really good at covering all 3. But in the best analogy I ever heard is you might think the G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip is the greatest present in the world. And you go to a little girl's birthday party and you give her what you think is the best thing in the world and she hates it. Right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So just be conscious. Find out, know your partner. Be curious about them. And you could say, I love you all day long. But if you don't give her the affection that makes her feel loved, she can say, you don't love me. You never touch me. You never hold my hand. So again, it's work, man. It's work.
Yeah,
you got to put in the effort. So,
yeah, and any good thing requires work. Any good thing is worth. If it was worth it to pursue her, to engage in all of the, like Hody just said, and everything that requires, then if it was worth doing before, it's worth doing now. If it was worth doing to get her, it's worth doing it to keep her, and you will need to do that. Now, with the last minute or so here, listenbaby.net is Hody's website. He is the author of A Man's Guide to Better Relationships. I encourage you to go on there and get with Hody and get yourself a copy of this book. Like he said, 28 pages. He really dumbed it down. It's very concise language. The overarching topic, the umbrella topic today is how to build a better relationship, how to cut the divorce rate. Well, guys, and this is mainly for you, listen. And then, Hody, I think you said as well, ladies, listen to your husband, listen to your boyfriend as well, because you both are speaking. You're speaking kind of different languages here, but ultimately the goal is the same. Everyone wants love. It's just certain people need it in certain ways.
I think you're right on the money. It's just be there, be her safe place, and she won't go anyplace else.
I'm so thankful, Hody. Through your tragedy, you have hopefully given a lot of guys triumph today, and we would love to have you back, Hody, here on Let's Talk Tri-State. And thank you so much for joining us today.
I love it. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Are you looking for increased sales and profits for your business? Verstandig Media can help, but don't just take our word for it.
Negley's Water has a long-standing relationship with Verstandig Media. Their coverage map flows right into our customer base. We couldn't be happier with the amount of brand awareness and potential customer education that Verstandig Media provides. If you want advertisement that supports growth, Verstandig Media is it.
If you want a full-service marketing team working for you, visit 921thegoat.com/marketing today.
Sunday, January 26th, it's the Tri-State Bridal Show, noon to 5 at the Valley Mall in Hagerstown. Brides-to-be, this is your chance to meet the area's leading bridal professionals. Venues, photographers, caterers, travel planners, and more. The first 100 brides to register online at this station's website will receive a welcome bag that includes small gifts, coupons, flyers, and a raffle ticket for door prizes. Register now, and we'll see you Saturday, January 26th for the Tri-State Bridal Show at Valley Mall, Hagerstown.
Tired of tripping over that old squeaky floor while trying to impress the in-laws? Or worse, does your uncle keep asking if your cabinets are vintage and not in a good way? Give yourself the gift of beautiful floors and shiny cabinets from Dick's Cabinetry and Flooring. Whether it's hardwood, tile, or carpet, you'll glide through the holidays, not trip over them. And Dick's has cabinets that will make even your picky cousins say, wow. Dick's Cabinetry and Flooring, Lincoln Way, East Chambersburg. They're serious about your home.
Meritus Medical Center has been earning straight A's. Hi, this is Carrie Adams, Meritus Chief Operating Officer. I am proud to announce that Meritus Medical Center has earned its 4th straight A and Leapfrog Safety Grade. Only 30% of hospitals across the country received an A. Our team members are the ones responsible. So join me in thanking them for all they do to keep our patients safe, and thank you for choosing Meritus Medical Center.
Whether you're new to vaping, are thinking of starting, or already vaping, Vast Vapor will treat you right. Electronic cigarettes are not one size fits all. Vast Vapor works with you one-on-one to help you select the best items to be a true replacement to your smoking habit. With great products and expert advice, Vast Vapor is here for you. Ask about their 7-tier rewards program that actually allows you to get the products you want, and give them a like on Facebook. Vast Vapor has 3 locations: on Moggins Avenue next to Subway in Hagerstown, on the point near Walmart, Waynesboro, and Gateway Avenue in Chambersburg. Vast Vapor is hiring additional team members for all 3 locations. Has vaping changed your life? Are you passionate about helping others understand the benefits of tobacco harm reduction? Are you reliable, energetic, and trustworthy? Are you an individual with a good sense of humor? Then Vast Vapor is the place for you. Join the Vast Vapor team and help customers make a positive lifestyle change. Vast Vapor, we're not blowing smoke.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
I feel the same way that I felt yesterday. I feel like this was a game that the Cowboys should have won.
They did.
They did. I didn't think they were spectacular, but that's okay. You don't have to do style points. This isn't college. We're not trying to impress the BCS. This was good for them to get away with a win. And I still have them not making the playoffs this year. Hey, this is Maggie Gray on 92.1 The GOAT, the Tri-State home for local sports and news.
This holiday season, CWP would like to take a moment to reflect on an incredible year.
This is Kristen
and Craig from CWP.
This year, we proudly celebrate our 50th anniversary. Thank you for all the loyalty and trust from our customers. The dedication and hard work that each of our employees display every day is second to none.
You are the ones that made this milestone year possible. Thank you all. Wishing everyone a very Merry Christmas and a healthy, Happy New Year.
From the CWP family to yours.
Jingle, jingle.
Explore, discover, succeed. The area's premier learning institution is Franklin County Career and Technology Center on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Enroll now for adult education fall 2024 classes, including but not limited to pharmacy technician certification and certified nurse's assistant program. Also, welding and CNC machinist programs. Some courses may be funded through the Career Link.
All courses, descriptions, and pricing can be found at franklinctc.com under Adult Education, or contact Faye at 717-263-9033, extension 1512 for more information.
You can apply online at apply.franklinctc.com by mail or stop at the Career Tech on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Explore, discover, succeed. You can do it all right here in Franklin County. Availability limited. Enroll today.
You can apply online at apply.franklinctc by mail or stop at the Career Tech on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State. News is all powered by WellSpan, winner of the American Hospital Association's Quest for Quality Award, online at wellspan.org. Washington County Transit riders donated an impressive, we were talking about this last week, 835 canned goods and non-perishable items totaling 1,040 pounds during its first ever Thankful Travels on the Bus food drive.
That's incredible.
The donations went to the Maryland Food Bank. Bus passengers were allowed to provide a food item as fare during the campaign, which took place November 18th to 23rd. And I believe that was the first time they've ever done it. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time. Yeah. And they should, I was just thinking, if it was that much of a success, and I'm sure for the riders as well, I mean, a free bus ride, that's amazing. We could do this for Easter or different events.
Well, they do it for Christmas. They do the toys. They take a toy for your...
Just at various points throughout the year.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know that the charitable donations always amp up during the holiday season, but, it would be nice to do this maybe once a quarter or something like that.
I think it's great.
Yeah, I like that story.
Speaking of Washington County, as you just talked about, for the first time in years, the Washington County Board of Education has new leadership. The full 7-member board, including 3 new members, unanimously approved newly re-elected April Zentmeyer to be board president during a reorganization meeting that happened on Wednesday, according to YouTube. The board also unanimously approved Mike Gesford as vice president. Gesford, who is midway through his third 4-year term, is the longest tenured board member. Zentmeyer was elected to her second 4-year term.
I wonder if that Gesford has any relation to...
Heather?
Yes.
Probably somewhere along the line.
Because she's also in Washington County, isn't she?
Yeah, in Washington County, it's somewhat of a common...
Is it?
A more common last name.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that would
but
make
probably.
sense.
It's kind of like my last name. I would say, is it spelled the same? Then probably somewhere along the line we are.
Your last name is pretty common?
No.
Oh.
When it comes to, if it's common, if my last name is common, or if I'm related to the people who share that same last name.
You know who I'm related to?
Who's that?
Emily Dickinson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's an actual fact.
You know who I'm related to?
Go on.
My brother Andy.
He's going to tell us about sports as well.
Take it away, brother.
The spotlight was shining on the New York Knicks and the Toronto Raptors last night as they were the only game in the NBA to be played on Monday evening. The New York Knicks came away with a victory over the Toronto Raptors, 113-108. Karl Anthony Towns had a double-double on the night with 24 points and 15 rebounds as R.J. Barrett put in 30 points for the Raptors and grabbed 8 rebounds on the game. In NCAA women's college basketball, only one game last night as well in this category. The Kentucky Wildcats, ranked number 16 in the nation, beat Queens University 87-45. The leading scorer for the Wildcats was Hassett with 19 points and 6 rebounds. As for men's college basketball last night, Boston University got a victory over Thomas 113-75. Indiana beat Minnesota 82-67. South Carolina State got a victory over Charleston Southern 82-63. VCU with the victory over Pennsylvania 66-47. And Baylor came away with the win against Abilene Christian 88-57. Last night in the NFL, we saw Monday Night Football, and it was a good one. It was a high-scoring affair. The Bengals winning against the Cowboys 27-20. Joe Burrow threw for 369 yards with 3 touchdowns, going 33 for 44 on the night in passing. Chase Brown rushed 14 times for 58 yards and also had 65 yards receiving and a touchdown. Jamar Chase, 14 receptions, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns for their star wideout. As for the Cowboys, Cooper Rush went 16 of 31 with 183 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Rico Dowdle had a great rushing game, 18 carries for 131 yards. CeeDee Lamb had 6 receptions for 93 yards and a score as well. And Brandon Cooks also scored for the Cowboys on 1 reception for 3 yards in the red zone. The Bengals moved to 5-8 and keep in the playoff race in the AFC. And the Cowboys fall to 5-8 and as the Cowboys fall to 5-8 in the NFC East and the NFC playoff rankings.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
Want to save money on home energy costs? Make the right choice. Contact HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, winner in Best of the Tri-State 2024. HomeRight Windows and Doors, Waynesboro, your best local window and door provider in the Tri-State. Today's replacement windows can really make a difference in your heating and cooling costs. They can also add to your home's resale value, and you could earn tax credits. To schedule a free in-home estimate, Google HomeRight Waynesboro or find them on Facebook. HomeRight Windows and Doors, Waynesboro, the right choice.
The JR Sport Brief on the Infinity Sports Network.
Am I going to favor them to win the championship this year? The answer is no. That'll be the greatest miracle because this is the New York Jets. And unfortunately, what's most likely is that one day Aaron Rodgers packs his bags and says, I want to leave. The New York Jets don't have a coach. And the New York Jets are going to have to start from scratch and suck for many more years because another Green Bay Packers experiment quarterback screwed them. This is JR of the JR Sport Brief on 92.1 The Go.
Life can throw
unexpected curveballs. When that happens, turn to Weatherholtz Bonding, your trusted partner in tough times. Their team will get you out and back to your life fast and with the lowest financing plans allowed by West Virginia law. Licensed in West Virginia, Maryland, and Virginia with nationwide coverage. Call Weatherholtz Bonding 304-267-5888. Reclaim your freedom.
Devil Dog Recovery is your trustworthy choice for vehicle repossession. Devil Dog Recovery, 304-264-8233. Fast, reliable, always ready. Space is important, and so is not being a hoarder. At On Point Storage in Chambersburg and Fayetteville, they have all the space you'll ever need, from a cubby to a whole lot. On Point Storage has climate-controlled units, the ultimate space to keep your things safe. And right now, save half off the first full month's rent at their Chambersburg and Fayetteville units. On Point Storage, state-of-the-art storage with 24-hour access and video surveillance. Declutter your home with a climate-controlled unit at On Point Storage, Chambersburg and Fayetteville. Full details at onpointstoragepA.com.
When you and your loved one need extra support for a very serious illness, there's just one call to make to Hospice of Washington County.
They provided a team of professionals to meet our loved ones and our family's needs.
They allowed me to be my mother's daughter again and to spend special time with her. I knew I had help just a phone call away.
They were there in our home with help and medical equipment exactly when we needed them.
When your loved one needs extra support for a serious illness, there's just one call to make to Hospice of Washington County. Hospice care is a fully covered Medicare and Medicaid benefit, and no one is ever turned away for an inability to pay. Hospice of Washington County cares for the whole family. Call 301-791-6360. That's 301-791-6360. Or visit hospiceofwc.org.
Are you currently medically uninsured and a citizen of Washington County, Maryland? Uninsured citizens are healthier and more productive through free access to health care. The Community Free Clinic can help those in need of physical or mental health care, including prescription medicine and lab services. Services are not based on income. Most services are free to qualifying patients. Are you currently medically uninsured? If you are in need of physical or mental health care, go to mycommunityfreeclinic.org to see if you qualify. Your health, their priority.
The Greencastle Antrim Chamber of Commerce invites you to Heritage Christmas in the Square on December 6th and 13th from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. Bring your letter to put in Santa's mailbox, sponsored by Corning Credit Union. Don't miss having pictures taken with Santa, sponsored by F&M Trust. At the Holiday House, sponsored by Lumber Direct, pick up a brochure about Heritage Christmas events, buy the 2024 commemorative ornament, or vote for your favorite in the Light It Up contest, sponsored by Antrim Insurance Agency. Purchase tickets for a horse and wagon ride, sponsored by Manitowoc, or the Christmas home tour. There will be nearly 20 vendors in the square. Shop, visit with friends and neighbors, and enjoy music and entertainment, sponsored by Middletown Valley Bank. There's no place like downtown Greencastle during the holidays. Take in the beauty of the Christmas tree and charming shops in our area. For more information about Heritage Christmas events, go to greencastlepachamber.org.
Are you looking for increased sales and profits for your business? Verstandig Media can help, but don't just take our word for it.
Negley's Water has a long-standing relationship with Verstanding Media. Their coverage map flows right into our customer base. We couldn't be happier with the amount of brand awareness and potential customer education that Verstanding Media provides. If you want advertisement that supports growth, Verstanding Media is it.
If you want a full-service marketing team working for you, visit 921thegOat.com/marketing today.
WIKG, Mercersburg, Chambersburg, Greencastle, 92.1 The Goat, the Tri-State's home for sports and news. Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State. Welcome to Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie, all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice, voted winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State. Our guest today, our next guest, is something that actually resonates a lot with me. Christina Anderson, who is an author, mentor, and teacher advocate, and your website is teacherrelay.com. But your passion is to help to minimize teacher burnout, correct?
Yes.
And I don't know how much Tiny was telling you, but I was a teacher for 9 years, an elementary school teacher. And I experienced teacher burnout. It's very real, and left the profession about a year and a half ago. It was a really tough decision. I loved education, but it is a real thing. So I'm going to let you kind of start. You and I obviously know what it is since we have so much experience in the field, but what is teacher burnout for someone who has no idea what we're talking about?
So teacher burnout is basically when you are exhausted of your profession and you start experiencing stress and anxiety and just the fallout of having to come to work. And so with teacher burnout, some of the things that I tell teachers is sometimes you do have to leave, or sometimes you have to take a sabbatical, a year off, and come back if that's what you want. Sometimes you have to be promoted. And so what I do with teachers is I just, let them know that they do have options. And there are some options that are comparable to teaching. If you want to stay, if you want to leave, that's perfectly okay. But there's just a lot going on in the education world right now, and the fallout, affects your home life, affects you personally. It's starting to affect teachers' health. And so that is, what we're facing right now with teacher burnout.
Walk me through a little bit about your background. Are you an educator, or were you an educator?
Yes. So I started what I call pre-COVID. So there was the pre-COVID teachers and then the after-COVID teachers. And those are two different things. But 2014, I basically was thrown into a classroom. It was sink or swim. It was the worst year of my life. Lost 30 pounds because really I had no coaching, nobody really to help me. It was just, you could watch kids. And so then I swore I wasn't going to come back, but then I found myself in PD again the next following year. And I said, okay, well, maybe this year will be better. And by my third year, I kind of really understood what I needed to do. Yeah, I kind of caught my flow, which it typically takes about 3 years for a teacher to master, what they're going to do with classroom management and how they're going to teach. And so after that, I caught my groove. I was really into it. And by year 5, I was promoted to an instructional specialist. And so as an instructional specialist, I still was very hands-on in the classroom, and I never wanted it to be a us versus them with administration versus teachers. And so I was always trying to bridge that gap between both parties, because it can be, they don't understand us and they don't understand why we're doing this. And so I always stayed very close to the classroom. And then after 2 years of being an instructional specialist, I was promoted to a magnet coordinator, which that basically focuses on like the theme of the school. So I was at a STEM school. And so even then I was still very heavily in the classroom supporting teachers. And my last role, which was this previous year, was an assistant principal. And so every year that I've been in administration, I made sure to stay in the classroom, stay close to the teachers. My love is early childhood. I absolutely adore the little people. But, I've taught up to middle school as well. And so that's my background. And, I tell teachers that no matter where you are in your educational sector, you still have options, if you want to stay, if you want to go. Just letting them know there's more out there, but if you want to make a mark in education, that you can do that as well.
Do you think schools are aware, administrators are aware that teacher burnout is really happening and it is a problem?
So yes, I think they are aware, because we were very aware. It's almost like you're trapped between a rock and a hard place, because administrators are in the middle. So we have a term where it says the stuff rolls down from the top. And so the people at the top are rolling down their agendas and what they want to do. And it's up to the administrators to kind of move the staff to what you need them to get to. And so it is one of those situations where the administrators are trying to lessen the blow. And in part, they are being stressed out as well. But then, of course, everything rolls down onto a teacher. And so let's say there's a new agenda of we have to start tutoring at 6:30 in the morning now. That's our job. That's coming from the top. That's a new initiative. We can't just say no, to it, or there has to be a process. And so now we have to try to lessen the blow. And that may be a week, and the next week is going to change. And so then we have to figure out like, okay, well, how do we get the teachers to do this? And so I think they do understand that teachers are burned out and tired. I think the role of a great administrator is just how can you lessen the blow? What can you pick and choose to put on your staff, and what can you kind of absorb from, a leadership on your behalf and not put it on your teachers?
I think it's also really important as from an administrator's perspective to understand what it is like to be an elementary school or a classroom teacher in general, because I've worked in some schools where I think admin, they got straight into administration, didn't have a lot of time in the classroom, and aren't fully aware of the demands that are being placed on teachers outside of just learning the curriculum and teaching it. I mean, you have so many kids with different needs and at different levels, and then parents, and trying to meet everybody and show the data, and how are you changing your lessons so that you are meeting the needs of all the kids. And it's just, sometimes it just feels like all I'm doing is just giving. I have nothing left to give anymore. And it's a shame, because I personally have seen some really incredible educators, walk away from the field, and it's a complete loss for that school and for those kids. I mean, really talented educators. So what do you say to that teacher that's, I love teaching, it's such a joy of mine, but I'm starting to feel like I'm dreading going to school now?
Mm-hmm. So the first thing I tell anybody that I'm coaching is that you always need to make sure you're under the right leadership. So I tell any teacher that if you need to move, if teaching is what you want to do, then you may need to move, whether that's a different grade level, whether that is a different campus, whether that is under a different leadership, because I've been under multiple leaderships, and where some were very, you're going to do this and this is what I say, versus some who had growth mindsets. And so that makes the biggest difference. You have to make sure that you are under a leadership that, aligns with your goals. If you are one who you want free reign with your lessons, and you want the principal to just let you go and, teach the kids how you do, and just trust that you're going to, get the results that you need, you have to be under the right leadership. If you want somebody that's more hands-on and coaching, and you want somebody to provide you with this and provide you with that, that is a different avenue that you need to go to as well. And then there's private schools, charter schools, public schools, online schools. There's just so many other options that teachers can go to make sure that they, are in the right situation in the first place. So that's what I always start with, is just to make sure that they find their niche if they want to stay into teaching, because there are some good campuses out there where, even though the district may be going through hell, but that campus is still thriving, and they have a lot of teacher tenure, and they are able to continue the culture of the campus without stressing their teachers out. So that's my number one tip, is just make sure you get under the right leadership. Make sure your principal and administration aligns with what your goals are as a teacher, and one, that they just trust teachers. Let the teacher teach.
Yep, they are the professional. They know what they're doing. You hired them. Have a little trust in them that they know what they're doing. Do you find that teachers, part of the burnout is because there are so much changes happening inside of a school, like moving grade levels and moving positions, and then it gets to the point where you're learning so much new curriculum and then changing a grade level that it's just like, I can't possibly do any more change. I need a little bit more routine.
Yes. So with education, I think we were pretty used to change, and I say pre-COVID, because the curriculums often changed a lot based on who was, on the board, whose friend they knew were going to pass down the curriculum. But previously, after COVID, the changes were just day by day. It wasn't even like year after year, the changes, because I can do this for a year, maybe I'll change it next year. The changes after COVID were very, very quick, and there was no time for teachers to grasp what it was. There was no time for, data to be understood. It was, this isn't working by Friday, we're going to change it on Monday. And I don't think anybody can operate under that. Like, you can't turn a cruise ship on a dime. You have to let stuff play out. You have to really research and look to see if is this going to work or not. But in education, no, it was boom, 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 boom. Everybody's doing this one day and then you're doing this the next. And I think that pace of having to uproot everything you do, because in education, if you don't have a solid curriculum or a solid way that you teach, and you have to change that, it changes your whole routine.
Absolutely.
So like teachers may have a system that they use or procedure that they use for their reading block. And then you come in and say, no, well, now reading is only 50 minutes and you can't do small group or guided reading anymore. It's not that. It's science of reading and da-da-da-da. It's like, wait, okay, that takes time. And then you only have 10 months to teach the kids before they have to take the state assessment. It's like, I don't have these kids forever. You can't keep coming in and changing everything. And so, yes, I think the pace of the change is what's causing a burnout.
What county do you work?
So I was previously in Texas. I'm not there. Well, I'm still in Texas, but Houston ISD. So we are like the 4th largest school district. And I moved closer to, it's like Porter, Texas, and it's like an hour away from HISD. But with that, Houston is a huge district. And within that district, you have a lot of little pockets and things. And so, you know, I've seen it all, the changes, the new curriculums that come in and out. But, you know, like I said, every district, I don't care, small, big, charter, they're all feeling the same thing. I have colleagues who, you know, are focused in charter schools and they're still, you know, saying the same thing. So
if someone were to go onto your website, teacherrelay.com, are there different tips and things that a teacher can use as resources to help them when they start to feel this kind of burnout?
So not so much burnout. What I do is I coach them on how to get a promotion. So a lot of teachers that have been there 5+ years, they're ready to get out of the classroom. It's not so much that they want to leave education, because they do love it, but they want to get out of the classroom. And so what is that path to leadership? What can I do to support other teachers who are in my shoes? What can I do to still, you know, be around kids, but, you know, I don't want to be around them 8 hours a day. And so my goal is to help teachers to get in leadership positions or become promoted, because that's something that I was good at doing, what I call the horse and pony show, being promoted 3 times in the past 5 years. And also it increases your income. There's a lot of teachers that I see at Walmart or driving Uber, and that's not okay. And so, you know, I tell them you can wait on the government to do it, which they're probably not going to raise teacher pay anytime soon. But a way you can increase your pay is by being promoted. And so I kind of come at it both of those ways. And then also some teachers just need a way out. I know a lot of people want to be stay-at-home moms or kind of figure out something that works remotely for them. And so I recently had my 3rd child. And the pregnancy was kind of complicated. And so I ended up taking a year off. But in this time, I got into commercial lending, and it's just something that I wanted to help other teachers to get into as well, if they wanted to fully leave and not just jump into like IT or any other profession. So if they come to my website, that's what they'll see, like just different coaching packages and just ways to learn how to be promoted.
Awesome. And it's teacherrelay.com. Christina Anderson, author, mentor, teacher advocate. Thank you for spending some time with us today on Let's Talk Tri-State. I personally can really relate to this. So this was a pleasure speaking with you. And thanks for everything that you're doing.
All right. Thank you so much, Katie and Tiny.
The JR Sport Brief on the Infinity Sports Network.
Am I going to favor them to win the championship this year? The answer is no. That'll be the greatest miracle, because this is the New York Jets. And unfortunately, what's most likely is that one day Aaron Rodgers packs his bags and says, I want to leave. The New York Jets don't have a coach, and the New York Jets are going to have to start from scratch and suck for many more years, because another Green Bay Packers experiment quarterback screwed them. This is JR of the JR Sport Brief on 92.1 The GOAT.
Go to 92 921thegoat.com to enter the Ho Ho Home for the holidays for a chance to have your mortgage paid for 1 year, all thanks to DRB Homes. Discover the incredible offer from DRB Homes this November across Pennsylvania, Western Maryland, Eastern Panhandle, and Winchester, Virginia. Secure your new home with just a $1 contract deposit. Act fast. This deal is available for homes closing by January 31st, 2025. Ready to make your move? Learn more at drbhomes.com.
Getting on the road is easier than you think. Schedule a test ride today at M&S Harley Davidson to find the one. Let freedom inspire you. Fresh ideas, fresh bikes, your own style, your own choice. Grab hold of the Harley Davidson experience and create the hottest bike on the road. Wind, miles, freedom begins at M&S Harley Davidson. 160 Falling Spring Road off exit 16 of I-81 in Chambersburg. Call 717-709-9650. M&S Harley Davidson. They fulfill dreams of personal freedom.
Antrim Way Honda will buy your car. Its value is at an all-time high, so if you're considering selling it, talk to Antrim Way Honda. You can try selling it online, listing it in the newspaper, or trading it at another dealer, or you can stop by Antrim Way Honda. They'll make you an offer on the spot. No waiting, no negotiating over the phone. Just drive into the dealership and leave with a check in your hands. Even if you're not interested in purchasing another vehicle, it's that easy. Happy holidays from Antrim Way Honda, 200 South Antrim Way, Greencastle.
Hey, it's Britt and Court from Black & Blush Boutique. Have you found the perfect gift for the special woman in your life? We have a variety of gift ideas from clothing sizes small through 3X to accessories that make the perfect stocking stuffers. Not sure where to start? Let us be your personal shopper. Men, don't forget we offer gift cards for your last-minute convenience. Come see us at 54 South Main Street, downtown Chambersburg, with extended hours on Fridays now open until 7. We hope you have a Merry Christmas. Black & Blush Boutique. Trendy, modern, made for you.
Ludwig's Jewel Crew here. Kyle, Erica, and Jen welcome you to experience the holiday season with us.
Nicole Barr, Peter James, Classy Creation, and Sylvie are just a few of our exclusive lines that we carry.
Let us wrap up the perfect piece this holiday.
As members of the American Gem Society, we have a real zeal for helping you select amazing gems.
Select from our showcases or let us create a stunning gift.
Ludwig's Jewelers, more than a store, a tradition in downtown Chambersburg for 5 generations.
It's hard to imagine the holidays without our favorite holiday foods. Hi, this is Ann from the Butcher Shop. This season, shop only the best fresh meats, baked goods, and holiday fixings. Follow our weekly specials to find amazing deals on just the right products at just the right time, like fresh turkeys for the week of Thanksgiving, a Christmas roast, or New Year's shrimp. Keep up with the latest by finding us on Facebook or Instagram, or visit our webpage at mybutchershop.com. Happy holidays.
Are you looking for increased sales and profits for your business? Verstandig Media can help, but don't just take our word for it.
Hi, Mike with Lizzie's from Greencastle. The team at Verstandig Media, through their creative marketing approach and business connections, has helped us to connect with other new local customers and businesses in our community. We've seen consistent year-over-year growth for the past 6 years.
If you want a full-service marketing team working for you, visit 921thegoat.com/marketing today.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties. It's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
News is all powered by Legends Bar in Chambersburg. You can satisfy your sports fix at Legends Bar with game day specials and cold brews. You can find them on Hollywell Avenue in Chambersburg.
I notice when we start out these things, you're always looking over in this general vicinity. What's over there?
Sometimes I just find my confidence when I look over to the left. Yes. Yeah. You may notice that a lot in just my daily, everyday. I'm always looking to the left to build up my confidence.
So far left, there's nothing right.
And then I circle back around, and then I make it. Or also, some of the things I need to read are over to the left as well. And thank you for pointing that out.
Sounds great, Katie. Why don't you give us some news?
You need a little confidence build there, buddy?
I feel great. I'm ready to tear into some news. How about you, Katie? And what about you watching? You enjoying yourself too? Great. Glad to have you.
The 3rd annual Artist Studio Tour is set to take place in Fayetteville on Friday, December 6th and Saturday, December 7th. Those dates have actually already passed. So Let me move on to the next news story that I have here.
Yes, please.
The Franklin County Career and
Apparently, you need to look to the left a little more, Katie.
Let me
That's
try
where
this
your story
again.
will be. Your story's over there.
The Franklin County Career and Technology Center's retail greenhouse, Teens and Greens, is now open for holiday flower and greenery needs. They are on Molly Pitcher Highway in Chambersburg, 3015 Molly Pitcher Highway to be exact. The greenhouse features poinsettias, wreaths, and greens. It's open Monday through Wednesday, 9 to 3, and Thursdays and Fridays, 9 to 5.
Time now to check in with sports with Andy.
In Washington County girls basketball last night, Smithsburg beat North Hagerstown 51-28. Mountain Ridge beat Clear Spring 55-50. Northern Garrett beat Hancock 56-14. And Williamsport beat Hedgesville 43-30. Tonight, St. James takes on Chapelgate, tip-off at 4 p.m. Grace Academy travels to Berkeley Springs. That tip-off is at 5 p.m. Tip-off at 6 p.m. for Broad Fording going up against Martinsburg. And tip-off at 6:30 p.m. for Boonesboro at South Carroll and Williamsport at Francis Scott Key. And tip-off at 7 p.m. for South Hagerstown going to Middletown. Wrestling action coming up tonight. Boonesboro goes to St. James, and that match starts at 5 p.m. Also coming up tonight, boys basketball. Grace Academy goes to Berkeley Springs. That tip-off is at 6:30 p.m. Smithsburg travels to North Hagerstown. Tip-off at 7. Also tipping off at 7 is South Carroll at Boonesboro and Middletown at South Hagerstown. A tip-off at 7:15 for Frederick Warriors at Heritage and Francis Scott Key at Williamsport. Tip-off at 7:30 p.m. The Greencastle Antrim Blue Devils picked up a pair of wins versus James Buchanan last night. In girls basketball, Greencastle Antrim beat James Buchanan 59-38. And in boys basketball, Greencastle beat James Buchanan as well, 59 to. And in boys basketball, Greencastle Antrim beat James Buchanan as well, 76-67. Coming up tonight, you can check out Harrisburg taking on Chambersburg for high school basketball. Tip-off is at 7:15 p.m.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
Sunday, January 26th, it's the Tristate Bridal Show at Valley Mall, Hagerstown. This is the ultimate showcase for area bridal professionals, local bakers, photographers, caterers, DJs, travel planners, bands, venues. You'll want to meet the brides-to-be. Make sure you're at the top of their list by being a vendor in the 2025 Tri-State Bridal Show at Valley Mall, Hagerstown, Sunday, January 26th. Visit bestofthetristate.com for vendor information today. This holiday season, shop and dine in downtown Hagerstown. Celebrate with family and friends at great restaurants and find unique items at the last pop-up shop of the season. This Saturday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 60 West Washington Street in the center of the city. Not sure what to give? A Main Street gift card is accepted at over 10 downtown businesses. For a list of pop-up vendors or to buy gift cards, visit mainstreethagerstown.org. Shop small and buy local this holiday.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
Our next guests today, we have Monica and Melissa, who are here to tell us about a very exciting event coming up on Friday and Saturday in Hagerstown, the Kris Kringle Market. Tell us what we can expect with that event this weekend.
Well, I mean, lots of German festivities. It's got a really nice atmosphere because Thursday we're going to go out and hang lights throughout the fountain and throughout the plaza. So on Friday night, as it gets dark, you're going to have that festive light, Christmas lights coming on. And we have over 45 vendors this year. They're all artisans, local artisans. And since our show is always, or our market is always juried, you can expect the very best.
Help us out with the pronunciation, Kris Kringle?
Kris Kringle marked, yep. So we went with the German spelling and the German pronunciation of it.
And then does that translate roughly to Child of God? Or
well, Christ Child's Market is what it translates to.
Okay.
Yep.
And what's the heritage? What's the tradition? I mean, obviously I know Hagerstown has a great history with what's the name of the sister city in Germany?
Wesel.
That's it, Wesel, that's right. But take us through the German heritage of these markets.
So they started actually around 1100 in Germany. And it was always local artisans. I mean, they were handmade goods, mainly focused on Christmas decor and toys for children. And, they have grown into these huge things that every major city in Germany has. Of course, the most famous one would be Nuremberg. I grew up in Karlsruhe, which is along the Rhine River. in South Germany, and there was a big one there, and it just gets set up. They're usually these like rolling little houses that you don't walk into. So there are these huts that get set up. They open, with a clapboard to the front with all the goods there, and then goods behind the vendors. And you walk up, and traditionally you have Glühwein, which is mulled wine, so you smell that. When I was a kid, the Italians had already established the communities after the war, so there was always pizza, there were roasted nuts, so, and coffee and hot chocolate, and also these smells all mixed, which you also get at our market. And you just walk through, and it was just a family Christmas tradition that we did, and we just decided we wanted to have that here because we have that German heritage in Hagerstown.
And this particular one has made its debut back in 2016 and has been almost every year since then.
Yeah, so we've been growing. We started on the square in Hagerstown, and it was obviously a smaller event. We did a couple years there and then decided to move to University Plaza because it's an enclosed location. Liquor Board loves that for our wine and our beer sales. And it's very quaint, so it already comes kind of halfway decorated for us. We add to that gorgeous fountain as you walk in. And then after COVID, by not having an event one year, we took it to a 2-day event. And it's really nice because Friday, our event is 3 to 8 p.m., so you get the dusk into dark with all the lights shining, and then Saturday it's 10 to 4.
Is there live music one of the days? Did I see that? Both days or just
Both
Friday?
days.
Okay. So there's live music, there's vendors. What else can people expect? The wine.
Santa.
The Santa.
Yes.
Yes.
And the kids,
Come on, he can stay home.
We actually have strolling singers, but we also have this year bells. Bell ringers will be doing some performances.
I was just telling you about those performances.
Yes, you were.
Yeah, they're so great.
We have a kids zone as well, so we do have a strolling Santa, but then inside the university building, kids can go in and make German-inspired crafts, and that area is hosted by the Sisters, the Sister City organization, so they have a German heritage background as well.
Yeah, and August-Toberfest sponsors that as well. So.
And then 3 to 8 Friday, and what's the runtime on Saturday?
10 to 4.
Yep.
Okay, so you are getting 2 different experiences. I love that.
Yeah.
I wanted to piggyback off of what you were saying about Germany. I've been to Germany twice. Now, it wasn't around Christmas time, but there were so many Christmas stores that you could still go in and shop. And some of my favorite ornaments on my tree came from Germany.
Oh.
It's just it's a magical place, and they really take it to a next level there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I did a little wooden ones that I handcrafted.
I have 2 of those, and then I have obviously the pretzel. That was like a staple. And
as long as it's not the pickle, because the pickle is not German.
No, it's not the pickle.
I love the idea of having, years ago, someone had toyed with the idea and told me about it, wanting to do this in Hagerstown. And I thought it was a phenomenal idea. They showed me, to your point, the pictures of ones in Germany, which were
they're amazing.
massive.
Yeah.
Which I wanted to be there immediately because I love Christmas. I love the season itself.
Yeah.
The day is wonderful. It is what it is. It's the culmination. But I just love the overall feeling of the Christmas season. And nothing would have given me greater. The picture she showed me, it was snowing. Can we bring snow? You have snow?
Sometimes.
As long as it doesn't deter people from coming, a little bit of light snow at the end.
Just enough.
Yeah.
Set the mood, set the tone.
Yeah.
Have some mulled wine and maybe a beer and just have the nuts. Are these the cinnamon roasted? Okay.
Yeah, the German. So the German
I wasn't
roasted
going to be there
nuts.
before. Now I will.
Yeah.
So I say every year, so when you walk in, the fountain is decorated, the lights are up, people are drinking hot cocoa, our little volunteer vests are red. It's like walking into a Hallmark movie when you're on just a little going through the trails with all the different vendors. So it's definitely will put you in the holiday shopping spirit.
Maybe that's finding your soulmate. You walk through like a Hallmark movie.
Yes, that might be it. I also like the fact that this is happening later in the month of December. There are so many events that happen at the very beginning, and now this is the time where it's crunch time. And so people are thinking, I have to finish up my Christmas shopping, and this is a really great way to do that. What kind of vendors are you going to have there? You said over 45? Wow.
We have handcrafted local artisans. So again, we are juried. This is nothing that is like a mass marketing store. They are very unique. They are woodworks. They are pottery. They're jewelry. their German crafts, all your food vendors. Keep it going.
There's somebody who makes
Distilleries.
handmade quilts. We have some distilleries. Yeah, dog treats. So if you have pets, I mean, these are handmade dog treats
Are
that
pets
are
welcome in the
yes,
market?
pets are welcome. So we get that. Actually, I've gotten that question. We get that every year several times. Dogs. I mean, it is calm even when it's busy. There's still a calmness to it because we have the music piping or we have the live music going. There's always music and just people. I think it is that Hallmark feel.
Yeah.
People just walk in and they take a breath and everything is calm in there. So bringing your pets is perfect. Santa loves interacting with the pets.
Is Santa doing photos as well?
This, of course, the only Santa, the real Santa is coming, and he loves children. So we don't have a specific, like a photo booth. He will just walk around all day, in his specified hours. He would stay all day, but I know he's got so much to do this season.
The elves are probably blowing up his phone.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But he loves taking photos, yeah.
Great. And if people wanted to get more information, where would they find you?
ChrisKindleHagerstown.com.
Chris Kindle
Market Hagerstown.com. And I feel like, honestly, search Chris Kindle Market Hagerstown and it will come up. It is a traditional German spelling. Everyone's like, you forgot the E in market. No, we really didn't. So yeah,
the Germans forgot the E.
Yes, just do a search for Chris Kindle Market Hagerstown and you'll find it.
Is there any admission costs to get
No,
in? Free admission?
it's free to get in. It's free to do the kids' crafts. Of course, we want you to shop. We want you to spend money with the vendors. But
obviously, you've seen the markets at Christmas time in Germany. Have you been over to see them at all?
I have not. No, that's why I let her go first. And when you talk about heritage, and doesn't it sound better if you start your conversation with a German accent about a German market?
I wasn't expecting
I didn't pick up on it earlier, and then I thought, oh, yep, she knows exactly how to build this thing out. It's great.
If Katie had known when she came in earlier, she said, "Tiny, this woman's legit. She knows what she's talking about."
And then she's got a sidekick.
There you go.
Yes. I would have sat down. We would have talked about all the places I had the chance to see in Germany because it is a wonderful, wonderful place. Well, we look forward to seeing you Friday and Saturday, and thank you for spending some time today on Let's Talk Tri-State to tell us about the market, and thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Coming up, we're going to take a look at news and sports, and it's all powered by the DRB Group, the right partner for your real estate development.
Happy holidays from Moto Member. Enter their Sleigh Bells and Dirt Trails promotion to win a gift card from Moto Member PA. Check out all their great deals on Scheller Avenue, Chambersburg, your go-to for all things off-road and on. Head to 921thegoat.com and tell us your favorite Christmas song for your chance to win. Find